The State of the Union for Wholesaling Real Estate. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I will be sharing exactly what's going on in this market, the state of the union for wholesaling real estate, and most importantly, wholesaling real estate is changing. It is changing rapidly. This market is going crazy. And so you might see the headlines, wholesalers beware, things are getting crazy. And in today's video, I'm not here to scare you, right? Like, I could probably get a bunch of views, scare the snot out of you about how everything's changing, the world's going crazy, wholesaling's going to be illegal and all this. I could really scare you, try to sell you something, make everything all freaky out for you, but I'm going to tell you. And what I can tell you guys is whenever you hear a scary article in wholesaling real estate from an influencer, they're scaring you to create a problem, and then they are going to try to sell you the solution to that problem by, guess what? Taking your money. That is always the solution. What I'm going to show you guys today is I'm going to show you what the present problem is in wholesaling real estate, where it's going in the future, and everything you need to know. Now, I'm just going to cut right to the chase today. I'm going to get straight into it. This isn't like the State of the Union from Congress, right? Where they make it all high and mighty and they're reading the teleprompter and blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to tell you the honest truth. All right. Wholesaling real estate is changing. It is changing fast. There are certain things you must do in your wholesaling real estate business and things you must understand for you to actually become successful and to keep up with the crowd of what's going on. What I can tell you is cash buyers are smart. They are very smart. They did not get 250 grand in their bank account to buy properties by being stupid, okay? By taking massive, crazy risks. So they are changing everything up. They know what's going on, and we should probably follow what they're saying, because remember, guys, I know deals are very important, but really, at the end of the day, we are selling things and our customers are cash buyers. We can create anything, right? Like I can create little t-shirts and sell them, but the customer is the one who's actually going to pay me money and not getting the cool t-shirt, right? And the truth is our customers changing, and we got to understand how they're changing, right? And so now we understand this, we can change a lot, right? This is what Netflix did, right? Netflix saw that the customer base was liking the internet streaming thing, and they changed it. Blockbuster did not, right? So let me tell you something that's going to scare the snot out of you, and I'd rather say it right now before I end it, right? This year in wholesaling real estate's weird. And what I can tell you is if most wholesalers do what they've been doing the past 2 years, they will get destroyed. They will lose out on probably a lot of deals. They will not be, their income will be down by a fourth, and they'll probably quit and get out of this business. Just telling you the truth. Now, let me tell you the good. There's a lot of wholesalers, and I'll tell you this. I had an Instagram reel on my Instagram. It's about to approach 100,000 views. About 90,000 people heard what I had to say about wholesaling real estate and said, what is this wholesaling thing? Let me get started. And the amount of subscribers on my channel is insane yesterday. And unfortunately, we had 80,000 new people just learn what wholesaling was yesterday. And a lot of them followed me. They just subscribed. And now they're interested in what wholesaling is, right? Those people, and I want you guys to understand, a lot of people scoff like, oh, these newbies, they ain't going to know anything. I actually am this is a big statement to say, but this is true. I'm actually more positively mindset thought. So I am looking forward, and I actually think these new wholesalers are going to be more successful than a lot of these wholesalers that have been wholesaling for 2 to 3 years. You know why? They don't have the bad habits. They're listening to me, and they are going to listen to exactly what to do starting out. They're not going to use the old stuff. They're not tainted by broke wholesaling gurus. They're actually going to learn from scratch in this market how to do it right. And guess what the thing is? They aren't spoiled little babies, okay? They don't expect to make $50,000 a day in wholesaling and then just go complain. Now, some of them obviously will, but they're used to working a job and they're fresh. Guys, have you ever wonder why like college football players play so hard when they're trying to get in the NFL? They try everything they can because they know if they don't do it, this is their only shot. Got all these newbies out here. Like they're not sitting comfortable making 100K. These are 18, 17, 19-year-old kids that want to make money. They do not want to make $15 an hour working at Barnes & Noble. They don't. They want to make a real change in their life, and they're willing to do the hard work it takes. Now, if you want to do that, this is the video for you. This is what we're going to break down, but we're getting so many new people in here. And here's the honest truth. There's going to be more new people coming in than people leaving. There's going to be a lot of old people leaving that are just not changing with the times. But the new people, they will be with the times. And so what I can tell you guys, if you see there's a mass swath of people going into wholesaling real estate, huge swath this year. And this is something no one talks about. I'll talk about this a little later today. If you do not change, these new wholesalers are going to listen to me and they're going to know what to do, but they're only going to listen to the actual advice that's for the change, and they'll be changing and you won't. Guess who's going to win? You're going to lose out. And so what I want everybody to understand this is real estate's changing, and either you change or your income's going to change. And I could tell you this, and because I scared the snot out of you, I'm going to give you one bonus thing. This market right now, I'm doing more deals than ever. And I want everybody to understand this. When the market gets weird, the amount of deals you do actually pops up. There's actually more motivated sellers. There's just less there's less cash buyers wanting to buy deals. And so because it offsets, they make the same amount of money. But for me, because I do more deals and we go to cash buyers, I make more money, right? And so this is what I want to do. We're in the State of the Union. I'm going to break down exactly what's going on, what to expect in 2023, and really what's the plan. And really, I'll put my tinfoil hat on and I'll tell you what I think for the future is, which is, it is 90% accurate 46% of the time. I don't know, but like I could tell you guys that I'm going to tell you what's going on, right? And then we're going to break down exactly what you need to know and most importantly, how you can make the money, guys. I'm not here to get you excited, scared, or anything like that. But what I could tell you is a lot of gurus are going to try to tell you wholesaling in the dookie. It's terrible. But if you pay me money, I'll show you a new way. Guys, everybody does this just to charge you money. And what I could tell you is do not believe the hype. Everyone and their mom is going to try to sell you on courses right now because unfortunately, because the way things are, a lot of people can't afford to drop $8,000 to learn wholesaling. That's why I give everything out for free. And everyone's going to try to harvest all the coaching money before it goes away. And this is what they're trying to do right now. So just be careful of that. And so let me break down a quick intro for me, like 30 seconds, and then we'll break down the State of the Union, guys. So if you're brand new, don't know who I am, my name is Zach Ginn. I'm a real estate wholesaler. For the past 6 years, I've done over 1,000 real estate wholesaling deals. And currently I make millions of dollars wholesaling real estate. I do a lot of real estate investing, creative finance, all those things. And what I do is teach you wholesaling real estate for free because I make millions of dollars. I don't have to be a broke guru and I don't charge anybody for anything. I do have a free course because I want to teach everybody wholesaling, but I do not have hours to break it down every single day to individual people. So I have a free course. It's called freewholesaling.com. That is who I am. That's my intro. I do this with my dad, Rick. We are partners on this deal. He's done over 4,000 deals for over 20 years. And this is what we do. We just help the people out for free. And that is what we do. So this is the State of the Union. This is what wholesaling real estate's about in 2023. If you guys want to learn what wholesaling is, you don't know what it is, go to freewholesaling.com. That is it. I got nothing to sell you. I don't want your money. I just want to help everybody learn wholesaling today. So let's break this down. Let's get into the State of the Union. Let's get it all in and let's talk about this. So wholesaling real estate in 2023. What is going on? What in the world is going on? Let me just tell you one sentence about 2023. Okay. 2023 is going to get weird. I want everybody to understand this. This doesn't mean anything's bad. Doesn't mean we're going to lose money, right? But it's just weird. And what I mean by weird, right? When you look at historically on real estate, right? I've been kind of on a mission to read real estate books every single decade for the past 100 years to understand how people thought of real estate and how people do strategies in every decade, because every decade there's a weird thing, right? There's the 70s and 80s kind of now, not too similar, but similar in a way, where inflation was high. We had wars, which USA is not technically in a war right now, but we're aiding wars and there's war around the country, not this country, but in the world. And it just tensions are there. It's kind of weird, got Cold War scenarios and really very interesting, similar parallels. Now, inflation's not as crazy as it was back then. We're a little different than that, obviously. But what I can tell you is we're in weird situations right now. And you got to understand, you make money in weird. Like weird's good, right? When real estate is bad, that's not the best, right? We're in a weird spot. You can make a ton of money in weird spots. But if like real estate's crashing and just not going up, and like it's just like 2008, 2009, that's bad. And it's harder to make money when it gets really, really, really bad, right? Like real estate going down 50, 60% in like a very short amount of time. You can still make money in bad. But what I could tell you is you would probably make the most money in bad. But the thing is, we're not at that point right now. And there's not one forecast I see where it hits that bad like 2008. So the worst is not there. There are worst case scenarios, which we'll break down today. There are best case scenarios, and there's what we think is really going to happen, right? And what I could tell you what's going on, right? Like, why is real estate weird? There's just one sentence I can tell you. And this is why real estate currently right now, as of this video, is weird. Prices are not matching interest rates yet, okay? And I want people to really think about that for a second. Prices in real estate wholesaling are not matching interest rates. So for example, if I go out here in regular Port St. Lucie, Florida, which is my market for wholesaling, and I go buy a regular house on the average price. So I buy a house for $400,000 and I go rent it out. And usually let's go back 2 years ago when real estate was pretty good price. This is for the panoramic and a little after that, right? I don't say that word word because YouTube doesn't like it. But the thing is, if I bought a house for the average price, I think it was like $340 back then, and I just rented it out, which me and Rick did a lot of those, you would probably make a 10% cap rate, which is like, and I'm very conservative. I have managers. I don't even put appreciation into it, right? I don't add in the write-offs and depreciation. I don't, or appreciation. I don't, I just look at the regular cap rate, and whatever on top of that is gravy for me, right? And then I just can write off my taxes, right? I love it. 10% was a very good cap rate. And then we usually just bought them all cash because we're not big in the debt. But like, even if most likely, if I got a mortgage on it and I don't really have any debt, like I could probably make 12, 13, 14% on top of that. And it was a very good investment, right? And those aren't even my wholesaling deals. Like if I just bought it on the MLS, right? Now, fast forward today, because interest rates were about 3%. Now, you got to understand this about real estate and rental properties, which I'm not going to get into that. I am a big rental guy. I am a big real estate investor, a lot of commercial. I love that stuff. But what I could tell you is I think about cash buyers because I am a cash buyer too. Your interest rate, especially for a big multifamily deal, your interest rate has to be below the cap rate for it to make any financial sense. And that's just a general rule of thumb. So if I bought a multifamily deal, which is a lot worse than single family, I'm not getting that debate right now of just like making money and liquidity and things like that, I would have to make probably, so if interest rates were 3%, I could probably make 8. And that's very good for a big multifamily unit, probably closer to 7, 8 to 7. And interest rates were 3. That was great, right? Fast forward to today, what happened is inflation went crazy. I'm not getting political, but we did print 40% of all the US money supply in like a 1-year span. That everything has inflation. I mean, that's just how the laws of money work in the economy, right? But if you look at that, obviously inflation is going to go crazy. And how do you curb inflation? You increase interest rates. So interest rates have gone really from 3%, you could say all the way to like 7% right now of this video. It fluctuates, obviously. It might be at 6, might be at 7.5. Right now, this video, it's 7. And so if I go back and I did the numbers this morning when I woke up, I looked at what would it cost for me to buy the average Port St. Lucie house and then rent it out. Now, things are not looking as good. The cap rate really went down from about 10% to about 4 to 5. And insurance did jump up like crazy in Florida, and that is a part of it. But even if I don't put insurance in there, it's still like 5.5. Like it's almost cut in half. And you got to remember, if my cap rate's 5.5 and my mortgage on that I don't have a mortgage, but if I got a mortgage on that property, it'd be like 6.5. I got a good credit score and no debt, so maybe 6 if I'm really lucky. Like that doesn't follow my rule, right? Like the cap rate has to be way above that, right? And so even a multifamily, there's cap rates right now like 5%. I was going to buy. Me and Rick were looking at this $7 million multifamily deal we're going to buy in the downtown of where we live. It was really cool. I grew up there. I thought it was really cool. You get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year in NOI. It looked pretty attractive. It was appreciation play. I think that was pretty cool. And the cap rate was like 4.5%. And there were long-term leases, and it just like didn't make, and I'm like, I'd borrow at 7.5, and for a cap rate, it just doesn't make sense. And how historically interest rates work is because they jumped it really fast to 7.5. What happens is prices go down and rents they go down a little, but where it stabilizes, where now the cap rate's back up to 7.5. And because real estate has to go down to match the interest rate, and then boom, now the cap rate goes back up and everything's kind of back even. Then they bring prices down, and then real estate prices go up and cap rates stay the same. That's what happens. Prices are going to need to match the interest rates. Unfortunately, it's not happening right now. Prices are dropping, but they're not dropping as fast as interest rates. And that makes sense, right? So if I was going to buy a prop and my mortgage would be $3,000, now it's probably close to $5,000 or $6,000 because interest rates basically doubled. And I'm not getting twice as much in rent because rent's actually going down a little too. So it's like, what am I going to do here? We have cool rental properties. We got one rental property where our rent's actually jumping up 40% because we under rented it for a while. But like, that makes no sense for me, right? And what happened is why they increased interest rates is prices will match it eventually. It's just slow. Real estate is slow. Problem is cash buyers actually know it's up, and what they're doing is they adjusted very quick. Now they want their prices to match their interest rates. Sellers, on the other hand, they don't understand this stuff. They don't get it, and they're going to take some time to really get some pain. And how's this going to happen? Inventory is going to keep rising, and that naturally is going to cause prices to keep going down. Not insane, not crazy, but maybe 5, 10, 15% at most. I would probably say 10%, but really a lot of it's going to be coming down when interest rates kind of stay stable, then prices will probably stabilize too. So it's not too crazy, right? But why it's weird right now is prices are going down, but most sellers just haven't hit that mark yet. And usually it takes 6 to 12 months for sellers to realize, things are getting bad, for them to actually drop the price. And we're just not at that point yet, right? Let me just tell you what I think is happening, okay? This is Zach's super stupid, simple prediction. And a lot of people are like, Zach, what does this mean for me for wholesaling, right? Honestly, what's most likely going to happen, I want everybody to understand, is real estate's probably going to just teeter down a little, maybe 1% a month for a year. And you got to understand, if you're buying a property at 100K and then you sell it for 120, maybe you sell it for 119, 118, and you lock it up for 98, you're still making the same amount of money. Just your contract price goes down by 1%, and then you sell it for 1% lower, you make the same amount of money. In wholesaling, it's the same amount. The margins are the same. So if I'm buying coconuts for $4 a pound and I sell them to my customers for $8 a pound, guess what happens if coconuts go down by half? Oh no. Right? Do I lose money? No. I buy coconuts for 2 and I sell it for 4. You still make the same margins. And the thing is, Zach, if you did it for 4, sold for 8, you make $4, but it's 2 and 4. What do you do? Guess what happens? You get a lot more coconuts, because if I had a budget of $4 for coconuts, I can only buy 1 coconut. Now I can buy 2. Now I can sell 2. So I got to double the deals, but I still make the same amount of money. That's kind of what we're seeing right now. And now it's not by 50%, obviously. It's like 1 to 2%. It's not going to really change things. I think a lot of people really think that things are bad. So let's break this down. I'm a guy that likes to know the worst case scenario. Okay. I want to know what's the worst thing that could possibly happen, what's likely to happen, and what's the best possible scenario. That's what I'd like to know. I'm very simple. When I deal with real estate and we have a problem with the property, what's the worst case scenario on this and what's the best case scenario? That's what I like looking at. And it helps me make a level-headed, calm decision. And so I don't get emotional with this. And so let's just look at the facts, because that's all we got right now. So let's talk about what the worst case scenario can be. Let's get the scariest case scenario, worst case scenario out of the bat. Okay. Worst case scenario, there's a war that starts in Taiwan. That is the most likely scary scenario to possibly happen. And I know everyone can debate me, but that is most likely will be the worst case scenario to happen. Or if I don't know how to say this the right way for YouTube not to get me in trouble, but a WOD or WOMD happens, and what possibly happened in Japan in the 30s or 40s happened in, let's say, a European country, that could be a worst case scenario. Now, that is less than 1%, in my opinion. I think a war with Taiwan is probably a little higher than 1%, but it's still very low, right? Unfortunately, that is worst case scenario. If that happens, I could see the U.S. spending an insane amount of money. Inflation gets worse. Not 100%. 100%. Sorry, I meant 10%. Interest rates will probably jump up to 10%, and we could probably see a 25, 30% reduction in real estate prices, right? That is worst case scenario. And here's the thing I want everyone to understand this. That is outside of your control. That is outside of my control. Okay. I can just tell you what the worst case could possibly happen. Now, good news on this. You make a ton of money wholesaling this. Like, I'll tell you, if this happens, we're all getting rich. I'm just letting everybody know. Okay. You listen to me. We're all getting rich if that happens. I do not want to see that happen. But that is worst case scenario. Okay. We could probably be in a very deep recession if that happened, right? I don't see this happening, but I want everybody to understand what worst case scenario. I mean, worst case scenario, Yellowstone blows, and that's not good. But there's always, you got alien invasions, you got all that stuff that could happen to change everything, right? But really, that is worst case scenario. It's not really on my mind because it's outside my control, or another sickness type, that's worst case scenario, right? Don't think it's gonna be that crazy, right? Now let's go look what's likely to happen. This is where it's over an 85-90% chance of happening. Prices will slowly adjust to the more inventory and interest rates. Eventually, probably I would say by the beginning, and this isn't for 2020, this is just for next 2 years, right when election season starts, which should be July of next year, I could probably see interest rates stopping, and then for interest rates just kind of stop or maybe get cut like 0.25% for a little bit. And then from there, most likely what I'm going to see here is I could probably see interest rates just going down a little more here. And then when the election happens, then they start cutting it down, and then interest rates go down, real estate prices go up, and then we kind of start a little boom, and then the boom cycle goes forward, and then then it goes a little crazy, and then interest rates will go back up again, real estate go down, and then it's got that boom bust cycle. But over time, real estate will keep always going up, but it just has little dips and valleys like that, right? So that's what I'm thinking, guys. And I want you to understand this, that in wholesaling real estate, it's always cycles. And with this current cycle, this is what most likely is going to happen. When elections happen, the Fed doesn't want to do anything too drastic, so they're probably not going to do anything, right? I really think most wholesalers get really confused on this, but like most likely prices are going to dip a little more and it'll adjust and then we're going to be fine, right? We're going into election season. I'm not too worried about that, right? Now let's talk about what the best case scenario, okay? Rates stop. They start dropping like in the next 4 months, which I don't see it happening, but it could happen. All conflicts in the world stop. That's not a joke, but like there are currently 1-2 heated conflicts in the world right now. If those stop, there's a divided Congress. What does that mean? That means if the left wing owns the Senate and the right wing controls the House, that's a divided Congress. That means no crazy bills can happen on one side or the other. That's pretty good. We don't want to see one party own everything. I don't want to see the right wing people get the president, state, or Senate. I don't want to see all the left wing people get the president, state, or Senate. I want it to be divided because once it's divided, you can't really do crazy stuff. And that's what I like because it keeps everything status quo. And then real estate will slowly start rising, right? Maybe see 4 or 5%, then might go a little crazy, right? That's best case scenario. That's still 10% likely. Like that's still not crazy. That's still not a crazy pipe dream. So I would probably put 85% likely, 10% great. Heck, let's throw 5% bad. Let's be pessimistic. Those are the odds we see right now. Okay. And before you say, oh, Zach, 5% bad, that's way too high. Remember what happened in 2020, guys? Like that was a 0% chance that was going to happen, right? So I'll put 5% on it. Okay. And so we got to think to ourselves, what scenario here will make wholesalers the most money? I want everybody in the comments to think, right? What scenario most likely is going to make us wholesalers the most money? And I think a lot of people think, oh, if real estate shoots back up, I'll make the most money, right? It'll just shoot up to the sky. No, that ain't going to make you the most money. If the likely scenario happens, it won't probably make us the most money. What will happen is if the bad happens, I'll make us the most money because it might hurt for a couple months, but once that happens and sellers realize like what the craziness is going on in the world, they'll drop like flies those prices and we'll get really deep discounts. We'll give it to cash buyers. When real estate's going down, we'll buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And we'll make a ton of money doing it because the amount of deals will skyrocket and we're just going to be doing a bunch of deals, right? The thing is, a lot of people get hurt in that process. So I'm not the biggest fan of that, right? I'll make so much money in creative finance. It'd be disgusting. It'd be great for most people that know what to do. And the cool part is you don't have to spend 10 grand to go learn like how to do this. Like I'll hop on a live stream here, guys. It cost me, I think 15 cents to do a live stream because of the cost of energy. I think that's pretty much it. Like it cost me 15, 25 cents to do a live stream and I can write it off in the business. So it's like, it cost me 25 cents to do a live stream. So it's like, and then YouTube will probably pay me, I don't know, more than that just for this video. So it's like these costs pretty much are free. And then I do JV deals with you guys. So I make a ton of money with this. It's like, I ain't going to stop doing live streams and I'm not going to pay you because I don't have the time for it. It's perfect, right? And I'm going to hold your hand through the entire process. So let's talk about the 4 things I want to talk about. There are 4 main issues coming in outside of this in wholesaling real estate we need to discuss. Let's talk about this. So number 1, the TikTok wholesalers are coming. Okay. I want people to understand this. Real estate wholesaling has had a ton of saturation in the past 6 years since I've been in it. The amount of people that knew wholesaling at my local title company, outside of like obviously me and Rick doing a bunch of deals and our deals increasing, but the amount of average just person in real estate that knows what wholesaling is, I kind of do it because I talk to random real estate agents all the time. The amount of them actually knowing what wholesaling was, it has like 6x, probably 10x the amount of people actually know what it is. And this is because there's a vicious cycle of influencers and newbies wanting to make money. And the problem with wholesaling real estate is it's big pro. So the biggest cool part about wholesaling is actually one of the biggest cons. And the big pro in wholesaling real estate is this does sound like a scam. This does sound like a foo-foo thing, but it's true. If you're an 18-year-old kid and you wanted to run up 100 grand working 10 hours a week just as a side hustle and you got no cash on you at all, you can easily do it virtually wholesaling. Like, that's the coolest part about wholesaling. And that's the most attractive part, right? Most people think it's a crazy pipe dream, but you see people do it all the time, right? We had, I think Ryan posted, he had a huge check. It's insane, right? And I'm about to interview a 20-year-old kid after this on podcast. He made, I think, over 200 grand easily his first year. Like, it just no money. Like, it's crazy, right? And the problem is people on TikTok, people on Instagram, they all make $20,000. They'll cash $20,000 in cash and they'll take it out of the bank because they make 20 grand because they got lucky on a deal. They'll flex it, right? They'll get their gold teeth. They'll get their cool hats. They'll get their Gucci sweater. They get their Gucci flip-flops and they'll tell you, yo, you just make all this money wholesaling, man. And then they just counting money and then they're trying to show you what's up and they might rent a car and then they might, find like a supermodel behind them to be like, yeah, look at this. I'm on a boat, bro. Just wholesale houses, buy my course. And unfortunately, here's the problem. I wish I could tell you it's a scam, but wholesaling is not a scam. So when a guru says that you can make 100 grand in like 2 months wholesaling with no money, it's not a scam. It's true. It's all legal. Attorneys look over it. It's like, shoot, they're kind of right. And unfortunately, it's very attractive. Guys, that's what got me into wholesaling at 17 years old, right? And see where I'm at. I love it. That's why a lot of you guys are into wholesaling. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys want to keep it a secret. The problem is you got to look at this in the United States of America. We got 300 plus million people. How many people in the United States of America want to get rich quick? That's pretty much all of them. How many people in the United States of America want to get a six pack and do it within a day or two? Pretty much all of them, right? And so if you want to get rich quick and not work a regular job and kind of have a lot of freedom, wholesaling is pretty much attractive to every single person. I hate to say it, but like most 17, 18, 19-year-old male men, it's very attractive to them, right? Obviously, females, right, that are 17, 18, 19-year-olds, very attractive to them too. But like the whole get quick rich scheme, if you look at an 18-year-old guy, if they see the girls, the Lambo, the watch, the cool boat and the fast cash, it's more, they'll grab the guy's attention more than a female's attention because that girls and women are a lot smarter with scams. I'm just being honest. They're a lot smarter with that stuff. They can sniff it out a lot more. And if they look into it, they'll know it's legit, right? Guys will just go headfirst into something stupid like that, but that's how guys are. Unfortunately, getting a lot of new people in this business. And I wasn't a big fan of the TikTok thing for a very long time. I didn't want to get all these TikTok influencers so about their information and they're bringing so many new people in. And a lot of these new people started following me and they started learning legit. And a lot of those TikTok people are learning from terrible gurus, started learning a lot more. And I said, you know what? Let me go on TikTok and actually teach people how this game's really played. And I think I got over 200,000 followers in like 4 months and then TikTok banned me. That's a whole different story because they thought wholesaling was illegal, but that's for a different story. But and then I did Instagram reels and then I had hundreds of thousands. I almost 200,000 people there. And again, a lot of new people are coming in. So what I mean by this is there's a lot of newbies going in this business. There's going to be more newbies pouring into wholesaling in the next 5 years than there are going to be people leaving by far. It's because when prices go down, the economy goes worse, more people are more attractive to things like this. And so in the past 5 years, the past year, the real estate wholesaling industry has clearly doubled, because when you have more wholesalers, you're going to find more deals. And the thing is, you can even increase more deals by more wholesalers. So this industry will probably double in 2023 again. We'll get twice as more wholesalers in here, and they'll probably double again. And they'll probably increase by 25% for the next probably 30 years. And so the thing you got to understand here, guys and gals, is they're coming. The newbies are coming. And you can either be sad about it, you can cry about it, you can just like make fun of them all you want. But the problem is it's a new generation of wholesalers. And when I was 17 years old, that was crazy to think about it. That was 6 years ago. I was a 17-year-old kid. Now the new generation of 17-year-olds are back here. And they are, and I want everybody to understand this, there are plenty of them that were just as hungry as me and are just as hungry as you. And a lot of them are willing to do anything it takes to get that first deal. And so you got to understand, you can either work with these people and do JV deals and help them out and make money together, or you block them, you don't want to deal with them, go la, 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 and then lose more money, right? I, at the other hand, know, you know what, it probably makes me less money in my wholesaling business for more wholesalers to be out here in my local market. Now for JVing, it's actually better for me. Really, they're coming no matter what. The TikTok gurus are going to be going. There's more gurus being born every day. For every 5 gurus that go broke and quit, there's 15 more that come by. And me knowing this, I'm just going to probably pour people in and have them learn from me. And unfortunately, I'm going to be a part of the problem. So there's going to be a lot of competition coming in, but if you work with them, you will make more money. Guys, I used to be in this mindset of, I thought there's too much competition, screw them all. I started actually doing JV deals with them in the local market, and I started making more money. So rising tide lifts all boats. And if you know what you're doing, you follow what we say on freewholesaling.com, you'll be fine. Here, yeah. And so I want you guys to understand this, that like the TikTok wholesalers are coming. And if you understand how to do it the right way, you'll make a ton of money. So that's step number one. Issue number two is wholesaling becoming legal. Now, I kind of looked at that Maryland law and it was so vaguely written. So there's so as of from last year to this year, there's been pretty much zero real estate wholesaling laws that have passed to ban wholesaling or make it illegal or change anything. Pretty much zero. And I can go and quote on that, maybe one, but like, I mean, Arizona did something, but it didn't ban wholesaling or change anything at all. So for the past year, nothing happened, right? And so right now in 2023, there's one law out here that's quote unquote banning wholesaling. It's in the state of Maryland. And it was written so vaguely that you can pretty much get around it very easily. And I actually talked to 3 lawyers, 2 huge wholesalers in the area. And it was so vaguely written that there's going to be virtually no enforcement for it. There are about 4 strategies, which my lawyer advised me not to tell everybody because then Maryland come after me, that you can go around. Pretty much you can go around that law and not get in trouble. And the cool part is that if you talk to a title company and a lawyer, they'll tell you how to get around that law. Just like in Illinois, wholesaling is not illegal in Illinois. You can still wholesale in Illinois without a license, but there are ways you got to get around it. You got to do it smart, right? And so Arizona had a law last year where if you intend to wholesale, you got to tell them. But the way around that, which my lawyer said I can say, if you intend to double close, then the intention's not for wholesaling. And then even if you wholesale, that wasn't your sole intention, you're good to go, right? So that law is pretty stupid. Now, the Maryland law was written pretty much like Illinois, where they made it really rough if you do more than 2 deals. But it's written in a way where, honestly, even with double closing, they made it seem very difficult in Maryland. And it could pass, it could possibly not pass. There's actually a lot of really huge wholesalers fighting it and a lot of real estate boards fighting that law that's actually being released right now, because it's actually going to stop a lot of FSBOs and stuff like that. So the cool part about that is that law has about a 50-50 chance it's going to pass. And so if it does pass, I might bring a lawyer on here to explain to you guys how to go around that law. But there's only one. And honestly, because it's one side of the political aisle that's going crazy on that, it's kind of funny. But what I can tell you is wholesaling is not illegal. There are ways around that specific law too. And every law that they make, there's just ways to go around it. So Caesar, this is my problem I have with a lot of wholesalers. They say they're banning, they are not banning assignment. What they're trying to do is make sure you're licensed to do more than 2 assignments. And now there are ways around that, obviously, which I can break down at freewheeling.com. Not officially. You got to go to lawyers and title companies. They'll tell you how to do it. An attorney at a title company will actually help you out the most on it, but they're not banning assignments. Pretty much no penalties as of that law. So it's very weird how they're doing it. But like what I could tell you is there's ways around it. And talk to a lawyer. They'll help you out, right? And so wholesaling is not going to become illegal. There's currently no states in the United States of America that has banned wholesaling. And there probably will never be, because we have something called the Constitutional Clause in the United States of America, which prohibits states from superseding a citizen's rights to create contracts. It's true. So you can't ban somebody from creating a contract or selling that contract. Now, there are some states that say, okay, but you have to be licensed to create contracts, but you still can. So for example, to buy a kitchen knife, you can make a law to say you have to have a license to own a kitchen knife. It's not stopping you from owning one, but you have to get a license to do it. That can be a thing. It's like driving. Like you have to get a license to drive. You can. Most big wholesalers just don't want to mess with it in Maryland, so they're just getting their license. Now, you might have to, but there are ways around it too, right? So I would say don't worry about that. And the cool part about Maryland, if that law does pass, you can do 2 wholesaling deals and get your license. I'm not the biggest fan of getting a license because I'm not here to make money off of you when you get a license, but there's ways around it. So wholesaling, all 50 states, there's not one state that's illegal for wholesaling, and there will never will be, because we have the Constitution of the United States of America, which is amazing. I love it. It's beautiful. Because the way it's written and we have a Constitution clause, we are legally have the rights to sign contracts. Pretty cool, right? So wholesaling, no, will not become illegal. Your broke guru is doing that to scare you. And if somebody comes out and says wholesaling is going to become illegal in this state illegal, it's not going to be. I hate when they say it's illegal because it drives me crazy, right? So wholesaling will not become illegal. It will not never ban the assignment. There's not one state that has banned the assignment. Not one. Let me say that one more time. There's 0 states that have banned assignment of contracts or wholesaling real estate. Not one. Not even one. And if the one state that's difficult, Illinois, and even if Maryland passes, which it won't, I don't think so, but even if it does, there are easy ways to wholesale in those markets, which talk to a lawyer, they'll tell you. Because if someone comes back to me and Maryland tries to go after you and says, did you do it the right way for the loophole? They can say, Zach told me. And then I'm like, but if you say the lawyer, you'll be fine, right? So if I tell you that wholesaling, so let's talk, let me act like I'm a guru for a second. Hold on. Okay. let me pull up my teleprompter, make sure I get everything right. Hair perfect, fake smile, do my eyebrow thing. Okay. All right. So now I'm in my guru mindset. Okay. Guys, wholesaling's terrible. It's going to be illegal. It's going to be banned. This is the worst thing ever. What you need to do is get licensed. I'm a realtor, get licensed. But if you're going to get licensed, you should probably join my thing, and I'll charge you about $3,000 a month to be licensed with me, and I'll make a ton of money off of you. And I also want to make money off of every single deal you do, and I want to make money with you and off of you. Sorry. So I make $3,000 per person, and I force them to do what I say, and then they are under my rules. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, I can't do it. It drives me crazy to do, but like, guys, when a guru tries to scare you about wholesaling becoming illegal, they have a little backdoor of trying to scare you, because I know how sales works. They scare you, they rile up your emotions, and then they try to hit you with the credit card. That is what they all do. Get licensed, but come under me, and so I can make money off of you, right? It drives me crazy, but it's insane, right? And so I'll track that Maryland bill for you guys. I'll tell you what's going on, but it hasn't even passed any votes yet. The Oklahoma bill, it lost its bill, and then it had a bill, and then that bill is crazy because it was about intent. And so if you intend to not if you intend only to wholesale, you're not good. But if you intend to if you don't publicly market, which I just don't throw on the MLS or throw it on Zillow, you can legally wholesale fine. Next one, number 3, will real estate crash? I did answer this before, and I'll say this again. Real estate, in my opinion, will not crash in 2023 or 2024. I don't think it's going to crash. Real estate will, in my lifetime, have a massive 50% crash. It will. I know for a fact. I'm 23 years old. I know the way medicine's going, and within my next 75 years of my life, hopefully, there will be a huge 50% real estate crash. Now, will this happen in 20 years? Most likely it's going to be in 20 plus years from now. Will it be in 20 years? Will it be in 30 years? Will it be in 40 years? Will it be in 50, 60s? I don't know. I know within the next 3 years it will not. And I am very, very sure of that. There's about a 5% chance it will. And that's because of the issues that I've said before. If those issues do not happen, there is a 95% chance it will not crash. I am just looking at the statistics here. 95% chance it doesn't crash, 5% chance that it does crash. So looking at that, I could tell you it's most likely not going to crash. That is my best way I can explain it. And you guys should understand, when it comes to real estate, the market, and everything like this, there's no absolutes. It will not. It is not. The only absolute I could tell you is real estate is not illegal in any state in the United States. The assignment contract is not illegal. So that's an absolute statement I can tell you. Unfortunately, 5%, right? And so even if it does crash, we'll make a ton of money. I'm here to help you out. That's it, right? And so I just want people to understand that. Don't get freaked out over that, right? And so here's the last thing, okay? The last question we got. That it's very common. And this is the one last topic I want to talk about for the wholesaling State of the Union. Why is it so hard for cash buyers to buy my deal? Why is it so harder to find cash buyers to sell my deal to, right? It's not harder to find cash buyers. Cash buyers are actually easier than ever to find right now. The problem is, what I've said before, is they have adjusted with the interest rates instantly because they are smart. They know what real estate's the fundamental values of what it's worth. The thing is, sellers haven't. So sellers still want their crazy price when prices are really worth this, and cash buyers are at this. So you're still gonna have to find sellers that are super motivated that want to sell for this, and then you make the squeeze in between that, right? And so there's actually more deals out here, so that works out well, but prices haven't adjusted. This year they will adjust, and they'll slowly get to that point. But cash buyers are there. They always want to buy. They just want to buy at the prices what they're actually worth right now. And it's because of the cap rate or what they're flipping properties for. That is what they're doing, right? Even their hard money lenders are a lot more expensive, right? And so I get asked all the time, Zach, what's the plan? What's the plan, right? What's the thing we can do? How can we help everybody out? Like, how are we going to get rich, right? So let me explain what the plan is, all right? What's the plan? What are we going to do to get rich? This is a very easy, simple wholesale plan, which I can tell you. Number one, what we're going to do in wholesaling to get rich in 2023 is we're going to go after the most motivated list possible. Like, what did I say before? Cash buyers, there's a ton of them, but they just want really good deals right now. And so what are we going to, they're our customers. It's like opening up a Subway. Subways want a $5 foot long. What are we going to do? Everyone wants to make $6 foot. Let's find somebody that wants to sell this foot long for $4. My customers want subs. They want $5 foot longs. Okay. I'm only used to buying pizza. Let's go after the subs now, right? Like, that's it. Like, I want you guys to understand this. It's really simple. Okay. When my customers, right? Like, what's one big thing that's been huge lately that was never before? Like boba tea. I already heard what boba tea was like 4 years ago, but now everyone's into boba tea, And so my sister's like, let's get boba tea. I'm like, what? And I'm like, what are you drinking? She's like, boba tea. I'm like, what's a boba tea? And it's weird, right? But pretty good actually. But what I can tell you is, are you going to freak out? No, that's the plan. That's what the customers want. So let's adjust. So if our customers, the cash buyers who are buying our contracts, want prices for this much, we're going to go after the deals to find that are super motivated. And so they'll want to do it below what cash buyers willing to pay for. And then boom, we're going to go. So how do we do it? What's the plan? We're going after super motivated lists. These are super niche lists. These are triple stacked lists, double stacked lists. So double stacked is like a probate with a lien. That's double stacked. A triple might be a rest record list with a lien that's high equity. Triple stacked, like super motivated, reverse drawing for dollars, government lists, really, really good properties, a ton of vacant lists, right? High equity, prop stream, batch lead lists, drawing for dollars on dmzac.com, like all those things. That is the plan. If you want to get really good deals, which we can sell to these cash buyers, they want really good deals and they ain't budging from that because they know what the thing's really worth and they're smart. So let's go find really good, deeply discounted deals. Regular deals don't work anymore. Back then, in the good old days, 2 years ago, I can get an okay deal and then make 10, 15, 20 grand on it. Now, if it's an okay deal, I'm going to make maybe 2 grand on it, but a really good deal, I can still make my 30, 40, $50,000 spreads, which you're doing right now. And so I could tell you is I'm doing more deals. I'm making less per deal, but overall I'm making more money. And so that's the plan. And even in this economy, there are more pre-foreclosures happening, more vacant properties going out here. Actually, I can't, not officially on the vacant properties because vacants have pretty much been the same. So pre-foreclosure has been going up, liens slowly going up. A lot of the motivations, probates are pretty much always the same. And code violations, we've seen a big tick on it in our market. So I can tell you is there's more deals out there. And the thing is, if you can just find really deeply discounted properties, the cash buyers like to buy them. That is the plan. So the plan, guys and gals, is because cash buyers want to buy at deep discounts, we're going to find really deeply discounted property. So what is the state of the union for wholesaling real estate? It's great. I will tell you right now, and this is just, I could say this for my personal life, right? I am making more money in wholesaling real estate this year. I will make more money this year than I did probably the past 2 years in wholesaling. Guaranteed. That's with no JV deals at all. Guaranteed. Why is this? Because first of all, I've gotten better at wholesaling. I get better every single year at it. Number two, I figured out there's more deals. And I'm even in January 2023 versus January 2022, I didn't make double the money because in January 2022, I had two separate deals that made me over $100,000, which kind of hard to increase it from there. But because of the amount of extra deals I've been doing, I did make more money in 2023 January, which I can just assume because of those 100K deals overall in the time span, I'm going to make probably double what I made last year. And so what I could tell you is the state of the union is great for me. For you guys, it's great too if you can go after the motivated lists. And these are the lists you don't want to do. I'll tell everybody, these are the lists that are unattractive. Nobody wants to go to the courthouse and pull the evictions list and then reverse try for dollars the owners of those properties. Or cold call or text those evictions lists because it's a little tougher list to do. But do you know who will do that? And I'm going to scare the snot out of you one more time. Do you know who is willing to go to the courthouse every day for a month to get a code violation list that you just think is too hard to do? The TikTok wholesaler who is 18 years old that wants to live by himself and not live in his mama's basement. That kid who's working a full-time job probably at Wendy's wants to stop doing that. He's willing to do that hard list that you are just too lazy on your bum, not willing to do it. So why do I welcome the TikTok wholesalers? Because I know there's a big portion of them that are hustlers. They'll do whatever it takes to get in this business. And I see myself in these kids. They're willing to do the stuff that's hard, dirt, difficult to do that you just aren't willing to do. And so you're looking at this. Do you want to be like those new kids coming in, or do you want to be one of the kids that are just going to complain? Now, there's a huge swath of people my age, 23, 22, even the 18-year-olds that don't want to work. There's also a big portion of them that wants to work. So if you want motivation right now, if you want motivation to get off your butt and go after the really hard lists, here's the thing. Either you do it or these new TikTok kids are going to do it. And I just got the real almost 100,000 new wholesalers coming in just from that little TikTok. They're probably all not going to go. I'd say 10% of them, probably 10,000 of them will actually try. So they're coming in. Are you going to outwork them or not? Or are you going to JV with them, make a ton of money, build connections? That's not the truth. So guys, that is my state of the union for wholesaling real estate. Things are looking great. I'll tell you, the state of the union is great for wholesaling. It is an amazing time to get into it. And I'll tell you, this is my marker of looking if wholesaling is amazing or not. Will you look back in 5 years from now in wholesaling and say, dang, I wish I could go back to those times. It was so much better. You will. In 5 years from now, you'll say, remember back in 2023, how easy wholesaling was? Oh, easiest. Unfortunately, it might not be that case in 2028 if there's more wholesalers and saturation gets crazier and prices keep going up. Real estate prices will be higher in 5 years than it is now. So since everything's so cheap, it'd be great, right? Guys, with all the rental properties I'm getting right now, in 5 years, the amount of increase I can do on my rentals, I would be like, prices in 2023 were so low compared to what they are now. It's the truth. So guys, that's the State of the Union.